Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Good. Awesome. Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide the outcome of this presidential election. Yeah. You hear it more than I do. People want to know more about you and about your specific plans. At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we could drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know?
Did you guys just hear that? I mean, I don't know. I got to go over it. Did you just hear that? Brian asked her a question. Drill down a little bit. Give me a couple of specifics. Did you just answer his question by saying that a lot of people are going to be able to relate because they love their lawns? What? Is this lady trying to be a moron? Is she trying to be an imbecile? Is she trying to be just abjectly stupid? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What a freaking... This is a train wreck on top of an airline accident, on top of a disastrous... I mean, another disaster upon a disaster upon a... This is a freaking pileup. Not only of a car wreck, a train wreck, a truck wreck, an airplane wreck, a shipwreck. This is everything. This is all kinds of wrecks combined. This is unbelievable. I can't wait to get to the rest of this stuff, folks. Oh, this is incredible. Let's get to it right now. I just got to hear that thing one more time, okay? I just got to hear about the lawn one more time.
But a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
You know?
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
Yes, they all deserve dignity.
We as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have ambitions.
We have great characters, Americans.
And aspirations and dreams. But not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, you know, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored. Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention...
That's why your administration has continually attacked small businesses. That's why your administration has continually put regulation upon regulation upon regulation to stifle the growth of small businesses. That's how much you love small businesses, Kamala.
Really, I think the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it. Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage. And what that means, in particular for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So
And so this probably happened, Kumala, on what, the last 3.5 years? If you love small businesses so much, why didn't you pitch this idea to dementiated Joe Biden? Why didn't you pitch the idea of this $50,000 tax credit for small businesses on day freaking one? We know what you're going to say. The $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. Why didn't you pitch this on day one when you got into office back in 2020? Because y'all know the economics, don't you? Or are you still too stupid and too idiotic to understand that what you just did for every single home buyer, especially those young people out there, you just raised their prices by $25,000. Because guess what? If I want to sell my house now under your plan, I'm raising the price $50,000 because I want $25,000 of that, and they'll pay $25,000. I just increased my house value by $50,000. You stupid moron.
part of my plan is to work with the private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term. In addition, to help people who just want to get their foot in the door, literally.
Literally?
So giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance to be able to just get in the door, and then they will do the work that they need to do to save and to pay that mortgage and to build wealth for themselves and their family. These are some examples of what I mean when I talk about an opportunity economy, and a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I admired, who
Had lawns.
and deserve to have, their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
You talked at the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward. Yeah. I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation
Really?
of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about
Word salad.
investing in areas that really need a lot of work. And maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing
Word salad.
at a moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. She's a mental midget. She's a mental imbecile. What the hell does that have to do with anything? I want to give a $6,000 tax credit because, they might need help with a package of diapers, This is, talk about a train wreck, folks, on top of a shipwreck, on top of a plane wreck, on top of all kinds of other wrecks. Let's continue with this.
This isn't just
Folks, just take a look at Brian's facial. Just look at his facial. Just look at it. You just got to take a look at his facial expression, folks. That's coming up. Just watch this.
crime and public safety are two major issues right at the forefront of voters' minds in Philadelphia as well, where crime is a significant issue. When we talk about crime, the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard, maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well. I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership, where do you draw the line in America on gun ownership and gun use?
Well, like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking anybody's guns away. I
Bullshit.
support the Second Amendment and
Bullshit.
reasonable gun safety laws. Part of my approach to this is I was a career prosecutor for most of my career.
Here it comes, folks.
Prosecuted homicide cases. I have personally looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body. And so I feel very strongly that it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war. They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that. Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon if they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You just might want to know.
Two final questions, if I might.
Sure.
On the appeal of the man you were running against, as you drove here today, you likely saw a lot of Trump signs. He has an historic appeal in this country, and as you are someone running against him.
And Brian, did you ask her that? Where are the Harris AWOL signs, huh? Where are those at?
And trying to understand that, I wonder how you distill it. What do you understand his appeal to be? And how do you speak to his voters, or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
I, based on experience and a lived experience, know. In my heart, I know. In my soul, I know that the
Here comes the mental midget. Okay, here it comes, folks. The processing is going on. The mental gymnastics, the mental idiocy. It's percolating in her brain, whatever brain there is up there, folks. She's trying to come up with an answer that's going to make sense. How can she appeal to Trump voters? What does she need to do to capture them? Watch the mental gymnastics, the mental idiocy that comes out of the mouth of Kamala Harris.
vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans and not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other.
Oh, like you.
I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you. I think people want a leader who has common sense and tries
Like
to
Trump.
find common ground. I'm supported by over 200 Republicans who worked for both Presidents Bush.
Wow, 200 Republicans out of 335 million people in America. I'm supported by 200 Republicans. Wow, 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 wow.
John McCain, Mitt Romney. I'm supported by the former Vice President Dick Cheney,
You can have 'em.
Congressmember Liz Cheney.
You can have her too.
And I think people are more willing now, in light of the hate and division that we see coming out of Donald Trump, to say, hey, let's put country first. And I think
Really?
this makes us stronger and more healthy as a country. To say, look,
Hey, well, Trump does want to make America healthy again with RFK. That's true. So are you taking another position from the Trumpster?
well, we can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody together.
Yeah, why don't you start doing that yourself?
To America in a new way. They've heard much of your story at the Democratic National Convention and in that debate earlier this week. If there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is that you don't think they know yet, what would that be?
Well, we know she's a fraudster. We know she's a fake. We know she's a huckster. We all know that. We all know that she's a flip-flopper. But let's hear it in Kamala's own words. Let's hear it. What does Kamala want us to think about her now?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
it's not very different from anybody watching right now. I love my family. One of my favorite things that
She's starting to think again, folks. The word salad is
I
coming.
love to cook.
South Asian food, South Indian food.
Incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still my best friend. I think that I have a career that really, and I said
Is nothing
as a career
was done because I prostituted myself to other men.
Were they a Republican?
That's why they call me Horizontal Harris.
The only thing I ever ask them is, "Are you okay?" And I think that's the approach.
Did you ask that one man who you tried to put away in prison when the evidence came by that said that he was innocent? Kamala, did you bother to ask him if he was okay for when you sent him away to jail, a innocent man, just so you could get a conviction? Did you ask him if he was okay? You fraud, lying piece of crap.
That most Americans want, regardless of who they voted for in the last election, in terms of turning the page and charting the way.
Turning the page. It's
I'm
turning.
actually looking forward to cooking Sunday dinner again.
South Asian Indian food.
Yes, I am.
That's what she wants to do. She wants to cook Indian food.
Kids each have their role. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful family.
So there you have it, folks. The very first interview done by ABC in Philadelphia by Brian. I don't remember his last name, but I'm telling you what, folks, this lady is a mental imbecile. She cannot put words together when you have her just trying to, you give her the time in the world to answer a question, she can't do it. You give her 60 seconds or less, or 120 seconds and less, boy, she can memorize those answers like that. But she has to think on her feet. She's an idiot indeed. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links above and below. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.